See what's happening for your best you, trying to help you become your best you. And Sherry Clark from Fork in the Road joining us in studio right now. And she always talks about how you can eat healthier, but now she's talking about some of the things you can do to be healthier.
Absolutely. We're all kind of talking aches and pains right now, whether you've been shoveling your drive for the umpteenth time or other things happen in life. Maybe you took a little spill on some ice or other pains that we have. There's various kinds, isn't there, Sherry?
There are all kinds of pains, and let's face it, there's emotional, mental, physical pain. Today in particular I wanted to talk about physical pain. And it's interesting, Lou, we couldn't have planned this better, and I'm sorry that you're part of this whole thing, but I wanted to talk about this today because I'm in pain. And a month ago I pulled a piece of my luggage off of an airline conveyor belt. And it hurt for a minute. But the hurt hasn't gone away, and it's been a month, and it's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse.
So you strained yourself when retrieving your baggage.
I did, exactly. And then you've had an injury, a recent trauma, and I couldn't have predicted mine. You couldn't have predicted yours. So we have some things in common, but in talking about this previously, we've got some things that are different about our pain as well. So what I wanted to do was, first of all, I brought along some typical pain relievers, because those are the things that we're all interested in relief from the pain. That's obviously the first order of business. But the one thing I wanted to share and suggest to the audience is, it's not just about alleviating the pain. It's figuring out what is the real problem here. And in your case, that's a perfect example. You've got something going on, you don't know what it is. You're really well advised to check it out. So I did it with mine. Here's what I learned. I learned, because that wasn't working and I didn't want to go that route anyway, I went to a physical therapist. And what I learned was I had overextended something because of something that I do on a regular basis that sets me up for that. And here's what I do. I'm hunched over a computer all day. And as a result, if you think about what my back is going to do and what my muscles are going to do, now let's think about what I did when I yanked that baggage off the conveyor belt. I pulled back on a 40-pound bag. If I had not had this precursor, that wouldn't have happened. So it's thinking about those kinds of things that are really important.
It's amazing. Doctors are, I forget what the technical term is they call it, but basically because we're on our social devices all day long, they're finding kids are having terrible strains in their neck and their back. I remember as a kid having a much too heavy of a backpack. I dealt with some of those issues, but now it's more that we are hunched over our devices. We're looking down as opposed to up, how we used to back in the day. So yeah, we're utilizing or setting our muscles up for failure, almost, as you said, because if we do go the opposite direction and do it too quickly or with weight, something can happen that can cause pain.
It can absolutely cause pain. And so here's the thing. What I wanted to suggest today was, in addition to addressing the immediate thing, it hurts.
The immediate hurt.
The immediate hurt. And assuming that that will take care of it, go deeper, go to the root of the problem. Now what I've done is, after talking with the physical therapist, and I am compliant, and I wanted him,
You're showing him that you're doing your stuff.
I'm doing my things.
So they just want you to strengthen the muscles that you strained.
Yes, exactly.
In all directions.
In all directions. I also am taped. So so I'm glad we're not sleeveless today, because I've got black tape all over my arm.
That black athletic tape that they put on.
Yes. He also suggested massage. Damn.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, I wish that were deductible. And also in soaking in hot, like Epsom salt baths and those kinds of things. Take care of it, baby it, get rest. And if something hurts, don't do that. I mean, it's like the comedy bit, you know? Stop doing that if it hurts. But it makes sense. So I'm doing a lot more things with my left hand, but I now know I also have to be careful about that, because I could end up with an imbalance. So and as we get older, that awful word, it's more important to think about those kinds of things, because you take all these things for granted.
You do.
I'm right-handed. I took everything for granted, and now little things like reaching into the refrigerator, if something that I take out is too heavy, I have to use my left hand.
How long did they say your recovery would be?
He said how compliant you are will affect that. So I'm compliant as all get out. So I'm doing my exercises every day, but not to the point. There's such a thing. I did ask him this: can I be an overachiever? And he said, yeah. If I tell you to do them twice a day, do them twice a day. Don't do them 5 times thinking you'll get there twice as quick. So.
But in the long run, that should also make you a healthier individual, because you are exercising new muscles and and making your body more aware.
And be thinking about the fact that as we change, as our our work situation changes. I didn't always sit at a computer this many hours. I used to be more active. Well, when your career changes, your other things need to change. It's not that hard to do. And I'm older now than I was 10 years ago when I had another career. The other thing to keep in mind is that sometimes while it's physical, and we've talked certainly about that, there can be a tie between emotional and physical manifestation of pain.
Absolutely.
This is a book I brought along. This is by Louise Hay. And Louise Hay is a pioneer in the work of mind-body connection, and how that sometimes physical pain can be a result of some trauma or some things that are going on in your personal life. Let me give you an example. Think about some expressions that we use. You're a pain in the neck. And then, so you've got somebody in your life that's a pain in the neck, and you end up with upper shoulder pain. You're a pain in the and you might have some of that going on in your life as well. Or it made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of things to be thinking about. So let's think about all areas of our life. How we move when we're not worried about injury, how we move to recover, and what it is that we do to address what the real issue is.
All right, so just use common sense. If something is wrong, have it checked out.
Please.
That's really, really important.
And do it immediately.
Right.
Yes.
And find the root to the real problem, because
Right.
a lot of times it's not always what you think.
That's exactly
All right, great advice this morning, very timely for us. If people want to follow along with other great conversations that you have with us, Sherry, what's the best place to reach you and find out more details?
Well, have a conversation with me personally by emailing me at info@fork-road.com, or go to my website, fork-road.com, and you can see videos. And I've been doing Facebook Lives every day this week also, or this week and last week, and so you can find me on Facebook and check those out and let me know what you think. You'll meet my cat Lotus on those Facebook
Talk
Lives.
about Lotus a lot.
Lotus
right?
is on the Facebook Lives.
Love
And
it.
yeah.
Has Lotus been crashing your Facebook
He's
Lives?
been on every one except for one when we had contract negotiations. He sat that one out yesterday, and so.
And of course,
funny.
fork-road.com. Thank you very
Thank you
much
so
for joining
much.
us this morning.
All right, it's 19 minutes.